9, 8, 7, 6.
You go 5, 4, 3, and then you shut
2.
up.
What?
All right, welcome everybody to the 4th session. Though it's been some time, we're excited to present this session of the Red Storm Rising campaign's adventure titled The Foulest of Spirits. This is Chapter 2, designed by Gooey Cube and presented by the Greater Mulmaster Beholders Corps, where we hope your minds will be opened by wonder tonight. It's been a little bit since we've been at the table, but we are happy to be back. And as always, playing today are Zane, Mark, and Lee, the mighty Trey,
Aye!
and Chris, and I am Casey. I used to be known, but don't go by that moniker as much anymore, as the emissary of the Great Mother. But, we'll get back into it one of these days. We need to get back to conventions.
Yes.
Aye.
Well, the eyes have it.
Aye.
Well, no, we always have to do this because of our shtick. But my aberrations, I ask you, shall we begin tonight?
Aye.
I times 8.
Oh, the eyes have it. Thank you, guys. I've been missing that. So, mission is the mission you guys did is complete. But who was the falling person, and why was there a riderless horse?
Mm-hmm.
And will the rooster feather save the day? We shall find out.
All right. Quick question, Casey. Was it a pony or a horse? I thought it was a pony.
It was a
pony.
Pony.
Which
It's a horse to me.
A horse is a horse, of course.
Unless it's Mr. Pony.
Mr. Pony, yes. Yeah, as my wife says, if you wanted a dog, get a big dog. So, but that's neither here nor there. Hey, how about a character spotlight? Let's play some D&D. Tell us a little bit about Theros. Let's get a little bit in detail about what's going on in that big fat head of his. Ha! Tell us about that.
Gladly. So, as I gave a story back in the Darkest Dream episode 3 or 4 regarding Graxel and the Wagon Wheel Shield, this time I thought I would break down the fourth wall and do a psychological profile rather than a story. Ooh. And the reasoning why I play Theros the way I play him.
Is it a Freudian story?
It's a Freudian. Let's just say there's some envy there.
A Freudian slip, not the whole girdle, just the slip.
So Theros is an Enneagram 8, which is known as the Challenger. In the disc, he is a D or Dominant. And for those who mostly know about the Myers-Briggs, he is an ESTJ, Extroverted, Observant, Thinking, and Judging, or otherwise known as the Executive.
So basically me. Got
there
it.
You go.
Very sentimental. I get that, yes.
Yes. He prefers simplicity. Graxel, for example, is a great single solution provider. This is why even though magic and divinity... What's that?
Only if it has 8 legs.
8 legs or more. This is why even though magic and divine interventions are common, he cares little to try to understand or control such things, despite being a common recipient of their benefits. There are others in the group capable of understanding these things, and that's good enough for him. Also, being a dominant personality, he cares little of past errors and pushes forward to the future. As an Enneagram Type 8, he fears betrayal. Betrayal is as simple as a misjudgment of him at first glance. In a world of humans, a 6'6", green-skinned, tusk-jawed man is instantly judged, and almost always misjudged. As such, he has a strong in-group preference, obviously for the Hanatas in general and the Blue Veil specifically. He's also a testosterone-filled teenage male. He believes he's indestructible and enthusiastically throws himself in front of any threat. to any member of the Blue Veil. Anyone wants to harm the Blue Veil, they'll have to go through Theros.
This
He
is why I usually stand behind him.
And he's happy to stand in front. He
Yeah,
cares little for townies and others except for the practical use of their coin. They are the outgroup. However, he is good-natured and will help those in need and fully expects to be misjudged afterwards. Stereotypical of this type, aka Enneagram Type 8, he believes he has boundless energy as well and becomes angry when his body cannot keep up with his internal desires. Also, he hates bullies, but yet he is often the biggest bully. Interestingly enough, he loves children. The reason? Children pose little threat to him. They don't judge. What you see is what you get. And this allows him to relax and be at ease around them. Conversely, he seeks to protect them above all else. I attempted to play that up in the finale of The Darkest Dream. So some of the dynamics, I will go through the adventure group dynamics. Like many dominant males, Theros has a preference to protect females, and that's why on several occasions Theros has come to the aid/protection of Kenna, even though she is capable of, if not quite a bit more capable of protecting herself than Theros is able to protect her, or even Theros able to protect himself. He will always seek to protect her from harm if possible. Quembar is wise counsel, but he deals with the divinity, which Theros has little experience. Since it is a complex and unknown thing to Theros, it creates a bit of a relationship barrier between the priest and the barbarian. Theros is happy Quembar is at his side in this adventure, but he simply does not know how to relate to all the religious mumbo-jumbo that is clearly important to his friend. Grar is Theros' best friend, and while growing up, Theros and Grar had childhood dreams of pursuing and gaining untold glory. I do need to work on this a little bit on the relationship going forward with the Great Trey.
Some grew up more than others.
Fleegan is useful with his sneaky movements and sharp knives. Theros sees his friend as both a comedy relief and a death dealer. Theros enjoys cracking jokes with Fleegan as much as he loves cracking skulls with Graxel. And that concludes the psychological profile and adventure dynamics of Theros.
So what you're trying to say is size does matter.
Size matters.
Oh no! Hurrah!
Good job.
I disagree that size matters.
It's contextual, right?
Of course. And there's always envy associated with it.
Well, you said that you're a bully. I was wondering if you were talking about Billy, but Billy is our friend, our friendly goat.
The friendly mascot goat.
So, well done, my friend. That earned you a Gooey reward, so go ahead and roll on the Gooey reward table for me. I want to see what you get there, and everybody else give me a d20 roll. Advantage on an attack roll. That could come in handy if it doesn't have 8 legs, right?
Yes,
Absolutely.
Look at that, Gror.
I can't see what happened. It just says it's rolling on my side.
Well, it rolled for us, so I'm sure it'll show up soon.
I thought it just kept rolling.
No, you got a 19.
You got a 19, man. That means that you get a Gooey reward.
Woohoo!
Well done.
Would have known, I would have rolled a 19 sooner.
Just keep mashing that button. It'll come up eventually, right? Too bad I only take the first roll.
Never heard that before.
Never. Advantage on an attack roll. Let me assign that to Theros. I'm just going to get in and find them. Advantage on attack. Go. be journal now, Theros, and then what did Gore get? Advantage on ability check. Let me get you one of those. Advantage on ability check goes to Gore. All right, you guys should have your cards then.
And just for a refresher, where do we see those for the ones that we still have?
All you need to do is just go to your journal tab and scroll
Got it.
down until you see the folder for Gooey Rewards. Open the folder and they should be in there.
Beautiful.
Hey, that was a pretty good haul right there. Congratulations.
Success.
That was great DMing. I really enjoyed it.
Well, cool. Show you a picture here. All right, you guys see a picture there?
Yes.
Popped up. Okay. So we tend to try and do a little bit of a recap of the previous session before we get started in the next one, and we will talk about that. You all had continued on your mission to reach the old willow to put the scrolls in for the other Hanatas troop, and then to retain any scrolls that were for your Hanatas troop, which you guys actually made it to the willow. Along the way, you encountered a pony that didn't have a rider on it. And, you were quite interested in that pony, trying to figure out why there were some really nice boots, of which I think one of you got a new pair of nice boots. But while you were checking out this pony, you guys noticed one of those famed Estranian Therian skyships flying over your head. It was a beautiful sight to see, until you managed to notice that there was a man falling from the skyship about 200 feet in the air. So some concern for that individual as to how he may have fared when he hit the ground, because he didn't have a parachute. You managed to find him, and pretty much what you thought was came to be that he was a pile of bloody goo on the ground. And so, being as you all are, you did your dead level best to find out if there was a way to save him, on which unfortunately there was not. And so you buried him. And,
It's very sticky.
And it was quite traumatic.
It's too bad he didn't land in a gooey cube. We could have saved him then.
Well, I don't know. They're kind of acidic. Maybe he needed that resistance armor that's fitted on those. Right?
Boo!
So if you're resistant to the acid of a Gooey Cube, can you wear it as armor?
Maybe. And then you came across a stampeding herd of elk that through many different skills that you all had, you managed to not get run over and squished, and protected the horse in the meantime, which was quite impressive, actually. And then met an old man who was looking for lunch, and the lunch was you, considering they were were-beings, and made pretty quick work of them, which is not surprising, as powerful as you teenagers seem to have become in very short order. And shortly thereafter found the willow, following up with a beautiful sight of a great bird, and found a golden feather off of that bird, and through all of the mysteriousness and the trauma that you've experienced thus far in the morning of Darktide, it was a special event that hardened you all, and you were very easily to find your way directly back to camp. And so you've come back to camp, to this site, a little bit of snow on the ground. Seems as if Darktide is going to start to give way to the winter months, and there may be a storm brewing. It was damp and it was cold when you set out. The sky was clear, and now as there was fog coming up in the forest, and now as you've returned to the camp, the sky is starting to cloud over, and you were hoping that you would return to be met by Theros' father, Borag, the mighty Borag, with his wife Kalmassi and Cray the Blade, Kenna's father. But unfortunately, they were nowhere to be found. You were also hoping that maybe Mother Salvenza and Vezi would have awoken at this point, and they have not as well. And so there's a bit of a pallor hanging over the camp, and you asked around and tried to lend your aid, and it just seems as if there's nothing that can be done. But there was some discussion that was had, and so we're going to do a little bit of a rewind and kind of go through that portion a little bit of, again, just kind of as a refresher and to get our minds set back directly on where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
And so the day, though it has been broken by the sunshine, is now cloud covered, and it's cold, and frost is still covering the ground, and you return from the woods, feel very cold. It's far too somber for the day after the successful close of the carnival. Usually it's a joyous time because the troupe has brought in a lot of money to get them through the intervening weeks of traveling from city to city, but there's a power that lies upon the people, like the tiny crystals of the ice that frost the ground. Some of the youngsters are running about, and even their play seems subdued. As you begin to help pack up the tents and prepare to move on, you can't help feeling uncomfortable, as if you're under some looming, invisible yet watchful presence. And even more troubling, as we said before, Borag and Kalnassi and Cray are nowhere to be seen. Many assume that they went into town for supplies or smoothed things over with the Nevermore Council for some slight that must have happened during Carnival, but you know the truth of their departure because they told you that they had to go attend to something important. Based on your conversation with Borag, you know they should have returned already. And so you encountered Bran. I'll show you a picture of Bran here. Yeah, sightless monk. And he speaks to you in quiet tones. He says, "You Zatis have proven yourselves worthy of trust, so I will tell you this. A hooded character came to the camp in the early morning just before the sol rise. The cowled one was named Tadas Sid. He is an agent of the Community of the Unseen Star, which is an enigmatic organization that claims to date back to the time of the Woe of Ruin itself. He spoke with the council and asked that Borag and Kalnassi and Cray accompany him to a location south of here. Claimed to know something of vital importance to the safety of the troop. And, you guys recognize the name Tadas Sid because you actually encountered him in Carnival the day before. You may have remembered that he had strange colored skin and an odd tattoo on his forehead, and he seemed very dismissive and haughty. And you were very concerned about him when you spoke with him after you had come out of the illusion tent, and he was asking you questions about if you had seen a young lady, and you had no idea what he was talking about. But he seemed very kind of rude, somewhat gruff, and you weren't quite sure what to do with him, but he mentioned that if you find out anything, that don't worry, he would find you. You wouldn't have to find him. Well, apparently he had come back the next early morning and spoken with your parents there, the leaders of Bonduran Council of the Troop. Led them off to the south, and so very strange indeed. And Bran, after he tells you of this, he kind of pulls you aside quietly, kind of off, away from the rest of the troop or the youngsters. He says in quiet tones, "Now, I wish you to listen to me carefully. But before I speak further, you must swear on your honor as followers of Jinx Kisnea that you will not repeat it to me." And we talked about you all swearing in you. And then he says to you, "They went to see evidence. Serious threat to the Vale. And if what Sid has told us is true, he likely has information about the most dangerous foe, the name of which we do not know. The events of last night likely have something to do with it. So, gets even closer and leans in quietly. Listen to me now. Something says this almost so quietly it's hard to hear him. Something is following the troop. And it has been doing so for more than a month. And they are tracking us. You almost see a perceptible shiver run up his spine as he says they are watching us. And I dare say they are hunting us. And if there is even a hint as to this thing's nature, we must know. Oh, I cannot say any more about it. I've already said too much. But in truth, I know little. I could share even were I inclined to do so. So, I tell you, and you swore, do not speak of this to the rest of the troop. Hopefully our Bonduran will be back soon and we'll all be on our way to Prondadol. But keep a wary eye out today, my friends. With Borag, Kalnassi, and Cray away, we're exposed. We'll need to be able to rely on you if anything happens. So I say today, go with Jinx and Kismia, young Zatis.
Of course. We will definitely keep our eyes open.
You got it, boss.
Anything wishes to harm the Veil, they'll have to go through me.
Us. They'll have to go through us.
Them.
And me.
Quembar's just being quiet, looking at his individuals, the fearful look on his face, taking in what they're saying, but it's not making him feel very comforting right now.
Well, Bran kind of shifts his eyes back and, his sightless eyes back and forth, which is odd to you because he usually just stares off. But he's obviously bothered and on edge. You heard that in his voice, and you've not normally seen him this way. And
Bran, should we go look for my parents and Cray?
No, I do not believe that would be wise. I believe what would be wise would to continue what we need to do, and that is to be packing up and preparing to leave towards the east. We are due in Prondadol in a week's time. And, we need to do there seems to be a storm brewing as well. Maybe it would provide us the protection that we need from whatever is to come. That thing that I just spoke about. But we need your help here with the stories that you've told about what you have done, how you've protected so far. We need your protection with the greatest of the Bondoran absent. But in the meantime, the best would be to watch the road and to pack up the wagons by the road. Spend some time doing that. Can you do that for me? You also look like you might need something to eat.
Yes.
Get a little rest and get prepared for what may come this day if what I'm fearful of may happen more. Or Borag and those are gone.
Very well.
I'm sure that the Borag and the Kadasi are able to find us. I know Cray will find us if we have to leave without them, but we will do everything we can to get ready and be prepared for when they do arrive to leave immediately.
Yes, my dear, you know that Cray and I we are close, and I've known you from the time you were born. I do believe that he will find us if need be. You're quite right about that.
Yes.
Very well. Theros will head off and start packing the wagons that are nearest the road, and have Graxel nearby as always.
Yep, weapons ready just in case, but definitely packing those wagons.
As you guys are talking about that, he mentioned getting some lunch. You notice that the events of the morning have left you more hungry than you realized initially, because the adrenaline has started to kind of wear off, and you smell some of the smells coming from Sunnisee's cooking area, and you recognize that it's a good opportunity to go ahead and get something to eat at this point. So breaking character for a moment, you do have an opportunity for a short rest. As far as healing, I think we covered this at the end of the last session.
We did.
You should have all been able to be healed at this point.
De-zombitized and de-werewolfed.
Yes.
So de-zombieized, de-werewolfed, or wereverined, I guess is a word.
Wolverined.
Theros, it looks like you're missing some hit points there.
Mine says 28 to 28
Mine does.
on the character sheet. Right,
Yeah.
on the
Well,
yeah. Oh, there it
maybe.
is. Just a
Something.
glitch.
Okay, so you guys are able to get something to eat. So following back up with, I think there was some discussion, but I don't know if there was a decision. One of the house rules available is the opportunity to take a what's called a Gooey rest, where casters can regain all of their first and second level spell slots. And so because you only have first level spell slots, at least one safe location, short rest, you have the ability to regain your spell slots.
I only have one missing spell slot, so it's not critical for me. But if it is for Quembar as our primary healer, then I would bow to his judgment on that one.
Okay.
Well, I know we had this discussion,
Grover
and I guess
secondary healer?
I thought we had decided, because it looks like I gave me all my spells back, so I'm kind of cheating right now.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good either way. So if we do want to do that, then I'll gain my one spell slot back. Otherwise, I will leave it. Leave me down one.
Okay, I'll go ahead and mark you guys down as taking the Gooey rest, and
Okay.
we'll go with that as you guys are enjoying your meals. So, what kind of yummy food do you guys enjoy?
Grower wants a sandwich and some mead, and then 2 apples for the pony and for the goat, and he'll go eat with them. Wants them to become better at pony than more friendly.
So as you're resting, you go over feed the pony. The pony's over with the animals. Billy is happy
Following
that you
us
guys are
around.
back and staying by your side and following you around.
I'll take Billy to the pony if possible, then for them to become friendly.
Okay.
And then, are there genders opposite?
The pony is female. Billy is male. So yes, they are.
Have a plan.
Oh God.
No pony goats.
Are we really
We
gonna go there?
We don't want any gonies.
Goonies.
It could be a pote, depends on if it's a boy or a girl.
Yeah, potes are possible too, and I still say no.
All right.
I'll probably whatever is the most plentiful that they have, probably some kind of stew or something like that, and some bread.
Okay.
I'll have a barbecue brisket sandwich.
That sounds good.
A barbecue.
Barbecue.
My brain was going exactly right there, and yes, they actually do have some tenderized
Bear meat.
what do you call it? Should we call it bear mead or bear meat. I don't know, something like that.
Bear
Roar-
scurbit.
Bear, yeah, that works. Works. On a nice chunk of bread. You gotta get this stuff eaten up because it's not gonna last the trip in front at all. So
Giant
yeah,
bear
you
doesn't travel well.
kind of getting all the scraps going on. So, Gror, give me a d20 roll, please. All right. So, Fleegan, what are you eating?
I'm perfectly happy with whatever they got. Bears.
Well, it seems like there's a big batch of steamed potatoes and onions. Seems like they were a good sell the day before, and then not really yesterday, and so they kind of had to get rid of them. So,
Sounds good to me.
okay, all right. So y'all are enjoying your bear brisket and your sandwich, and your meat and your potatoes. And did I miss anybody?
Yeah, I'll get myself some rice and some butter and cream and some broccoli and some of those potatoes and fix myself up a nice little side to go along with some of that brisket. I'll avoid the bread for now and just stick with the protein.
Quembar is carb loading, right? It's not carb loading.
Yes, I think I need the energy.
Sounds like a good idea, considering I think you did the heavy lifting, didn't you? You pretty much had the kill shot on everything. Kind of a demo there.
Don't get me in trouble.
Can I clarify one thing with Gror too? I'm having a dwarf sandwich, which just means it was made by a dwarf. There's not dwarf in it. It's only got bear inside of it. Cabbage, slaw, pretty mustard.
I need that recipe. I think we need to share that recipe. We need to get a video of you that we put on our YouTube channel of making the dwarf sandwich.
I can work on that for next session.
That works pretty good. So you take Billy over to meet your pony, and your pony kind of stamps around and doesn't seem to be real thrilled with Billy, and Billy kind of hides behind you and is immediately intimidated. So they're not on very good terms. Just so you know.
I kind of soothe Billy with a pat and a rub on the neck, and I say, "Don't be that way. I know what you're saying. I've had problems with women lately myself. Give it time, and don't worry, I won't let them."
That's the understatement of the year right there.
That's awesome. Give me an animal handling check, please, with advantage.
Isn't that the 17? Damn it. Hang on.
No, that was the horse's roll. He's doing that. Theros, you're looking around and
I'll use the advantage on that.
yeah, you get it. Theros, you're just kind of looking around at the kids running on by, and a little smile comes across your face as the youngsters, especially Trom and Trim, are practicing their ability to try and lift a purse off of one of the troop members, and the person just doesn't even flinch and just kind of reaches around and grabs their hand and puts it back down on their side and keeps on walking. So, and you kind of crack a smile knowing they still have a lot to learn, but they're getting better. But they get good practice on the troop members who know who they are, so they have a pretty good ability to lift a little coin here and there off of the carnival goers as they come around. So. And Fleegan, your steamed potatoes are quite tasty. Actually, they've had a day to rest, and they go well with the onions that have kind of caramelized a little bit, and find a little bit of salt to top them off with. And
I like them smashed too.
Yeah, kind of mash them up a little bit, and they're nice and creamy, and you're just kind of sitting there under the tree, just um, enjoying the fact that you can rest and not have to throw a knife at something that wants to bite your head off and eat you for lunch.
Because that's been happening a lot lately.
Yeah, unfortunately it has, hasn't it? But Kenna, you're wondering about your father, and you're a little worried. He's been quite on edge, and all of this going on, and the fact that he hasn't come back, it's not sitting well with you at all. Who was it that I said? Was it Theros? Who was it that I said woke up kind of exhilarated? That was Theros, right?
That was me, Theros.
Yeah. So that feeling, it kind of subsided as you were on your trip, but as you came back, it's almost like you're getting this adrenaline rush that makes your heart kind of start to flutter a little bit, a little palpitation going on, and you're just kind of excited, like you could take on the world today, and you can't help yourself, but you reach over and you get Graxel and you just kind of throw your head back, let out a mighty roar as you swing it around. Everybody kind of stops and looks at you, wondering, what are you doing?
He's a freak.
Let's get packed up, everyone. Let's get moving.
Quembar, you're sitting there enjoying your lunch, and you're just kind of just hanging out, and you look down and are just kind of staring at the ground, maybe saying a prayer to Kismia. Thankful that you guys survived the ordeals that you had to deal with earlier in the morning, and as you're doing such, actually, it would be probably more of a thankfulness to Jinx that no pranks came upon you, and the fact that you saw, a homestead that was reverent to Jinx, and in the midst of that, you do say a prayer to Kismia and about the luck you've ensued, and you just feel compelled to look at the ground, and you see buried in the dirt, somebody must have lost a couple of coins. There's a silver coin and a gold coin, just almost completely buried in the dirt, just right at your feet, just kind of glinting in the soft light of the day as the clouds are starting to roll in.
I looked down at them surprised and sort of kneeled next to them, trying not to touch them, as if I'm excavating some kind of beast out of the ground, looking for any kind of message or anything around the coins that might mean something to me. And I kind of rub at them with my finger, trying to see if there are actually coins there by removing some of the dirt and trying to rub against the coin. Just kind of finding a very strangeness in what should be pretty normal, but yet not. I mean, I was just talking to Jinx and thanking him for being such a great friend to Kismia, and how we all mourn what has happened to his followers, and letting him know that we are his followers also, and that we will do what we can against the evils that are going on, and how they might be able to help us with what is going on with the Hanatas right now. And these coins, they just seem so special at the moment. They have my full focus. And is there anything that I can determine from the placement or facing of the coins?
Give me an insight check, please. Sorry to interrupt you. I thought you were...
Oh, that's perfect.
While you're rolling your insight there, you say, Gror, you were talking to Billy, trying to calm her down a little bit, and
Calm him down.
yeah, the pony's the girl. Sorry, him. And you try and calm him down a little bit, and you use the apple, and he seems pretty intent on that. So you give him a bite of that, and he definitely settles down and doesn't really want to come near our pony here, but is definitely happy and content with you at this point. So, the coins don't seem like they're fake to you, and there's no. It's a mystery to you as to why they would be there. Trying to find out some reason to connect all the dots together. And, who knows what it could be? Maybe it was a blessing. Maybe it was something else special, but it was just there. So.
Well, being Hanataz and not really knowing, I'll take, a memory recording of what I've seen and pick up the 2 coins and pocket it as a little bit richer for the Hanataz, and I'll make sure to give that to Theros later on so he can, deliver it to the troop, and then we can take our portion of what we get in the end. And just kind of walk on my way, feeling much better than I did a second ago, but I'm not sure why.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. As a follower of Kismia, you've become accustomed to knowing when you do something that seems in line with your faith, and there's a sense inside that what has happened is right at this time, and it gives you a little bit of encouragement and kind of wipes away some of the concern that you had for those and others that you encountered today. So, and as you all are, finishing up your lunch and enjoying these things, Theros is out there strutting his stuff, as it may be. Groar's kind of heading back over to start helping out to pack up the tents. Kenna's thinking and worrying about her father. Quembar's heartened and kind of heading back over to help pack up the wagons, and Fleegan is finishing up his potatoes. You guys kind of hear a thundering coming on the road towards the west, and an unmistakable sound of a number of horses' hooves that are moving at a pretty quick pace. And as you look down the road, you begin to note that the clouds above your heads are thickening a bit at this point. But actually, in truth, the whole day seems somewhat gray and sickly at this point. Few birds can even be heard in the trees anymore, and the few that have been twittering seem dull and lifeless. And then you hear the horses coming from the west, and it doesn't take long before a number of riders from the Nevermore Towns Guard come into view, and Constable Rolf, which you guys recognize previous day and from days earlier, as he's kind of harassed your troop for slights that alleged slights, I should say. Accusations. Alleged accusations from the townsfolk. Although you might know better, but he's in the lead, and as the horses are moving towards the camp along the road, they don't seem to be slowing or veering into the camp by any means, so that doesn't seem to be their destination. They continue right on by, thundering, and as they're heading by, Constable Rolf takes a moment from staring and keeping pace with the rest of the group, and looks towards you and doesn't smile, but gives you a respectful nod as the crew rides on by.
Which I will return.
I'll give him a nod and a wave.
A nod and a wave. Okay. He does not return your wave, but he does meet eyes with both Kenna and Theros as you give him the nod, and you almost get a. Well, give me a perception check. Both Kenna and Theros. All right, yeah. I would say both of you kind of get the feeling of it was a nod of respect, which is quite uncharacteristic of this sort of individual.
Quite unusual.
So, all right. So you guys begin to pack up. What kind of things are in the wagons that need to be packed up and got ready to go? What do you think there?
Probably tent poles, canvas, all kinds of tapestries and rugs, collapsible furniture for the
Hey.
gambling tents.
I'd assume the wood for the animal pens, the cages for the animals.
Tables.
I think the cages for the animals actually have wheels on them, so that shouldn't be an issue, but the livestock we'll have to take behind us.
Yeah, and there's
Yeah.
also personal things like cooking equipment and, you know, various items
yeah.
to help mend.
Food and drink wagons.
There'd also be stuff like, I mean, obviously clothing, which would be washed, and the usual housewares, as well as the large tent, which I guess with the ring that I have from my father is able to be deconstructed with a single word. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's actually
Yes.
a magical and with the ring. Yep.
Yes.
You actually take pride. You kind of give out your little roar, and you realize, ooh, I get to do this. So
Make sure nobody's in there first.
I don't know, kind of give me a little bit of description of how you and your troop go over to kind of carry on the ritual of packing up the tall tent, which you've never had the opportunity to before, but have seen it done many times.
She'll walk over in front of the main entrance, about 20 feet from it. Obviously, want to make sure that no one's inside, so we'll check that. Then, ensure that I'm about 20 feet away from it, with everyone on either side, and proudly stand there with both hands on hips in a Superman pose, if you will. Let me move my token in front of the main entrance, and proudly and loudly give out a roar / word of the power word, whatever it is. I don't know if that's listed.
No, it's not.
No.
But it's
It's not listed.
yeah, it's fine. You give it.
So the bellow out the word of power and watch the tent deconstruct itself into whatever small package, whatever it is. Then
Anton pokes his head out of his tent over there, the tent of jests, roaring, "By Jinx's jangling balls, what is this noise? Oh." And kind of gives you a little bit of a weary smile and kind of pops back inside the tent.
And since I'm so energetic right now, I am just pumped, and I smile back at him and give him a nod and walk over to the tent package, pick it up. Then I'll walk over to him and Anton and see how our 2 ailing members are.
Kenna just rolls her eyes at Theros during this whole process and goes, "Would you just put it away and calm down?" Just walks back to the front wagons.
Something tells me she's told him that before.
On more than one occasion, I'm sure.
Hey, Quembar, do you still have that gold? And I assume that we all know about the gold and silver coins.
Oh yeah, I probably would have wandered over and even given them to you eventually.
Right. Let's see those coins. Anton, Quembar believes that these coins are a blessing. Would these also be something that we could use to help the mother? Like the feather? A blessing token?
It seems as if Jinx and Jithmia are smiling upon us these days. I do not know where this may have come from, but I consider it a sign of luck, and it is yours. It Could it be something that we could use? No, I do not know. It has ever been a possibility that has been something that is useful. So, I will take it as a sign from the gods that they be with us today.
Please.
But no change. I am so sorry. No change in them. And he just, his eyes are so weary. You can tell he's tired, but he's vigilant and he's trying to work through it. But I know that Brian has told you all to help pack things up. We need to get these stuff packed up. So no worries about what could be going on here. We will continue to do our best.
Is there anything you need help packed up with the intent of jests?
No. At this point, we will leave the tent together until the last possible time as a place of rest for Mother and Busy. So, go on, Zantis.
Very well.
Your duty.
And with an energetic fervor, Theros will continue to help pack up.
Kenna's going to go over to Mother's tent and start packing her things.
Okay.
Praying to Jinx the whole time.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you go and it's more or less has been pretty well taken care of. And you notice that the things are all packed up in the ways that they normally are. They're kind of set aside because they go in her special wagon once it's all done, and so they're all packed up and kind of piled together right there. But you do say a prayer to you said Jinx, right?
Correct, Jinx.
Yeah, you said a prayer to Jinx, and you get this feeling that was the right thing to do, and that you just kind of get this compelling feeling to kind of go back up near the entrance and help out with those, and that seems to be where Anton was kind of prodding you all to go back over towards the tents up by the road and continue to take the pieces. What's happening is all the troops are grabbing all of the pieces as the tents and stuff are being packed up, and then bringing them to you, and then putting them in the wagon and doing that kind of stuff. So, all right.
Yeah.
So I'll be over on the left side over here by the tents or the wagons.
Okay. All right. Well, around aftermorn, which is not too long after noon there, you see a small group approaching the camp down the road from the east, Theros. I hadn't really seen somebody like this before. It's actually a woman wearing a bright yellow tunic over leather armor, and she's got on riding boots, and she's got a short sword at her belt, and she's riding down the road, just at a stroll. And
Human?
Human woman, yeah. And she dismounts her horse right there at the side of the road, right here, right there. And as she sees you, and you just kind of have this air about you, so she seems to believe that you're the right person to talk to, and she walks up to her, and behind her are two guards in chain armor, and they sport the same yellow tunic that she has. They also dismount and walk toward you with the woman. And as they get closer, you notice that their tunics bear the crossed scrolls and wheel sigil of the Couriers Guild.
Okay. I'll approach her. I'll turn and acknowledge her and her guards.
And the others, I would say the others of you probably see this too. Do you do anything, or you just kind of hang back working on your stuff?
I'm going to approach. I have a feeling that Theros might get himself in trouble with the way he's been acting today, so...
Roar will take Billy for a walk in that direction, leaving the pony here.
Okay.
Calm down.
I'm going to go ahead and head on over that way too, unless I see somebody that's been injured by any of the work that's being done that I might have to help.
Okay, I have to pause for a second.
You bet.
Ligon is going to look around and wonder, where did everybody go? He's the only one working.
As usual.
That's fine. You can keep working because you're doing your thing, and
I'm helping.
I'll motion for everyone to come over.
Well,
If-
in that case,
if possible, Trey, could you upload that picture to Discord? Is that possible?
I'm not sure how to do that.
Do you have the Discord app on your phone?
No, that's why I don't know how to do it. Then it would be easy.
All right.
I'll work on it. Go ahead.
Maybe in the next session. We'll share it at some point here. I want the audience to see this, but there's a treat coming at some point, but we won't let it distract us any further. So, this woman, she walks purposefully towards you as you walk towards her, and she says in a very businesslike and matter-of-fact tone, "Cheers and greetings. I am Avril of the Couriers Guild. I seek a Shazat woman named Salvenza Enderase, who is said to travel with this troop. Where may I find her?"
You seek Mother Savenza. She is indisposed right now.
Indisposed. Describe what you mean. I do not,
She is
do not
ill.
understand. Is she not the leader of this troop?
She is ill.
She is ill.
Ill. Well, I have a matter of most importance that I must speak with her.
She is a type of ill that would not be possible, as she cannot speak.
This is quite disturbing. Is it something that is foul upon this woman?
Most.
Is this business in which you can discuss with our elders or with myself?
And she gives you this look. She's got almost a haughty attitude to her, and she kind of sizes you up, although you're taller than she is. But she also is knowledgeable enough to know that you're considerably younger than she is. And she kind of goes, "Is there an adult around here that I can talk to?"
Follow me.
Roar says, "I'm an adult. Look at this beard, lady."
Well, if Borag and Kalnassi are not here, how about if you want to speak to their son?
Her son. So, explain. So, Borag Kalnassi, tell me, who are they?
They're the leaders of our troop.
Oh,
And
well,
they're
I was under the impression that Salvenza is the leader of the troop. Am I wrong?
She is the seeress and the mother.
Yes, of course, as that were. And then
You wish
So
to
they're-
come see her. You please wait here and I will go speak with the elders who are dealing with Mother Savenza.
she looks at you and gives you kind of a dismissive wave, like, "Yeah, move along, go ahead. I do not have much time, but I will wait. I wish to speak to somebody in charge. Is there somebody here who is in charge?"
I will go back. Wait here and I will speak with somebody.
Okay.
I will return shortly.
All right. Her reaction to, you can go ahead and do that. Her reaction to Groar's statement about the beard is a roll of the eyes. Is all of her reaction.
I'll go seek Anton. So I move my token down to see Anton.
I actually, before you leave, I say, I think Brian may be the best choice.
They're both in the tent.
Good point.
Gror
So I
will
was gonna
scoff.
Gore will
Anton.
Scoff haughtily.
Anton.
He's good at that.
Bran. There
Yes.
is someone here from the what guild
Couriers
is it?
Guild.
It's the
Courier.
Couriers Guild. Someone here from the Couriers Guild looking for Mother Savensa. Bran, do you know anything of this, Anton?
Both. Anton at this point seems to be deep in prayer and may not have heard you, but Bran runs over as you're doing that and kind of shoos you out of the tent and comes over there with you to quietly speak with you. And sorry, Theros, what are you doing? You know that your father has given you the ring. You are the leader.
Yes,
You must speak with her yourself.
I will do so then.
Yes.
Oh
Yes,
boy.
You have the trust.
Well, I'll go back up to the lady. Brandishing the ring, of course.
Okay.
This is Theros, the son of Morag and Kalnassi.
I am in charge of the troop.
You, and she kind of looks you up and down again, and says,
Yes, him.
Did you not go speak to an adult?
I don't
I
think our
spoke
eyes
with
work very well.
elders, but they entrust me with the message that you are to convey to Mother Savensa.
Oh, do you have some proof that you, a mere child,
I'll
are
show her the
actually
ring.
in charge? And she's saying that as you just kind of flip the ring up in her face, and
Exactly.
She stops mid-sentence, and her eyes kind of grow kind of big, and you hear an audible gasp coming from one of her guards off to her right, and she immediately just throws a fist into his gut as he does that.
I'll let out a chuckle.
I apologize, sir. I've never encountered the sort that one of your age. Maybe I misunderstood. Maybe you're just young of
Gror
this.
says, I accept your apology, lady.
Oh,
She takes a moment and actually stops and looks over at Gror and says, "Excuse me. I happen to be in the midst of a conversation that is much more important than whatever it is you're doing with your little goat friend over there. So if you would just take a moment and please let me finish."
Okay, we'll just
Oh,
make
oh,
your
oh,
presence.
I'll make the calm down gesture with both hands, just for everyone. Gror, calm down. What is the message that you have to convey?
Well, as couriers be, we do not meddle ourselves into the affairs unless it's spoken to us as written. And this is a written parcel that I will hand over to you. And it seems as if you are the leader, and I respect that. And I do apologize. Your friend over here says you accept my apology, so I will go with that, and we will move on. But here, sir, your letter. And she hands you a rolled-up scroll. It says, "This must find its way to your mother Salvenza once she is no longer indisposed. It is yours for safekeeping, and I trust, as you carry the sign and the sigil of the leader of this troop, that you will do as is needed."
I will.
And she hands you a a brown rolled up scroll that is not sealed. It's just rolled up. And then she says, "We have other business to attend to in Nevermore, so we must move on. But we fare thee well, friends. May Kakion watch over your travels, especially on this day of dark tide. Seems as if you're packing up to move the road."
Thank you. We appreciate your good tidings.
And who is Karkion?
Karkion,
Do I know?
well, probably, and honestly, I'm embarrassed to say that I don't know that god, and I did look it up. And it's not in the notes, one of the few things that's not in the notes. But it's probably, I bet you it's a god of the messengers.
I'm
Or
looking
of
at it now.
travel. Or of travel, right?
Or something like that, yeah. But I'm sure you guys will find it. So you have the cyclopedia, it's on the shelf over behind. You're not going to go bring it.
It made Jinx and Kismia bring you good tidings on your road trip back from wherever you came from.
As she mounts up under her horse and her guards mount up under her horse as well, you get a nod of respect and thanks from them, and and then they begin to run right off.
I return the nod of respect and proceed to go, with everyone, if everyone wants to a quiet place to take a look at the scroll.
Okay.
Oh, what's it say? What's it say?
Okay, so you guys gather over in the trees over there off the road, and you're gonna read the scroll, huh?
Yep.
Here you go. You might want to make that full screen.
Aye.
And, when I make it full screen, it's a little too small for me to read. So let me go ahead and find it real quick.
You can read the Dearest Salvenza.
Yeah, we'll get it here in just a second.
I hope the courier that I charged with getting you this letter is able to locate your troop. If you are reading this, then he has. Last I heard, the Blue Veil was near Slugganshire and headed towards Nevermore. I'm hoping this means you are coming to Pronadal. I would be most wonderful to see you and your kin. It would be most wonderful to see you and your kin. But that is not why I'm writing. The year of fears is upon us. We all know this to be true. And the sight, I am sure, has told you, the same has told me, that much danger is coming, and soon. What I am unsure about, however, is the vision continue to receive showing the Blue Veil in the clasp of a great hand, talon-like with sharp black nails and hideous rotting flesh in the depths of the vision.
A horrid green fire burns.
Sorry, I got interrupted there. Vile, corrupt, and filled with malice. No matter how I try, I cannot sponge these things from my mind. I fear for the Blue Veil. I would beseech you to come to Pardendal and winters here near me. Perhaps together we can determine what this vision means. In the meantime, be most cautious. The portents are dark. Fondly, Varices.
Yeah.
Varices. Sorry. It's even small on my screen, so.
No, that's okay.
Now your reading lessons have done you well.
He can read!
So, Kakion, the Waylord, god of paths, roads, and waves, the protector of ships, caravans, travelers, and the lost. patron to messengers, couriers, and those who travel, and those who protect those who travel.
I think Quembar was correct then, right? Is he the one who said travel, or was that somebody else?
That was. What's for everyone that moves, I suppose.
Good job.
I will
Yeah.
show this to Bran.
Brand's blind.
You can feel it. I will convey the message quietly to Bran in a quiet place.
You actually wander around to try and find him, and you kind of wander around for a good 20 minutes. And you can't seem to find him anywhere, and so
Okay.
you kind of realize at this point that I'm sure you'll catch up with him later, and you can show that to him later.
Very well.
Okay.
So
I don't wish to waste any more time. Let's pack up the caravan and let's get on the road.
So you guys are continuing to pack up, and as you do so, you hear the raucous sound of what's probably a drunken crowd walking down the road from the east towards Nevermore. And as they get closer, you recognize a couple of them from the carnival the day before.
Oh,
Especially,
God.
you recognize. Oh, you know what? I should show you a picture here. Especially the big bald male who was actually selling cooked meat at the carnival the day before. Well, there's also another large man.
we should have jumped him.
Jeez.
There's also another large man who looks like he's related to the big meat seller. Well, except he has hair. The group is made up of both males and females, and well, the women just look just as mean as the men, and likely some of them are thugs from the group of criminals you've heard about, the ones known as the Shiners.
Shiners.
And they are actually bullying a smallish man who appears to be from their group himself. So, you know, is it kind of a give and take? It's kind of hard to tell. It's just kind of a drunken mob that's heading down the road towards your all's camp there. He's actually kind of pulling himself away from the larger thugs and calling them all sorts of crazy names. And as they approach, some of them cast curses in your direction, and they start saying things like, "This is that. Yeah, just get out of here. Go on. Be on your way. We're done with you." And yeah, y'all Shazat, you mean little shits. You smell like swine. You do. And they kind of start moving up, and they get up in one of y'all's face. We'll say Quembar, and he stinks horribly of alcohol. One of the guys. Grab my mouse here.
My kind sir, I know of a river just south of here that you might want to visit and cleanse yourself.
Never mind the werewolves and the zombies.
Shh, they don't
He
even know
might-
about that.
He might be one of them.
I'm gonna. You guys all will all kind of get together doing. Kind of gets face. And he looks at what you says almost as if he doesn't even understand what you're saying, and he kind of just reels back a little bit and then just belches in your face. He's like,
Oh, God.
and it smells pretty foul. Give me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Tomorrow you're going to feel like you fell out of an airship. Trust me.
And Kenna, the one over kind of adjacent to you, says, "Boy, Leedy, I was thinking that maybe there's some trees over there, and maybe we share a little bit of a day cap. What do you think? I think my friends would mind. Maybe they'd smile upon you if we do a little bit there.
I'm thinking you could just keep moving along the road back towards town. Thank you.
Kind of looks at you and kind of shakes his head a little bit. He's like, "Whoo, sweetie, you know you want some." And
That may be true, but I'd prefer it from a man, not you.
oh, give me an intimidation check, please. Give me an intimidation roll there. You're able to resist the stench that he belches in your face. Quembar. Actually, he's right there.
That didn't work real well.
Yeah.
I've probably had it done many times before.
Don't flutter your eyes at him when you say that.
Well, she was trying to give him a retort, which was a good retort, but she was also trying to be stern, and ended up being her frustration of the pass that he was making.
Gotta work on the delivery.
Came out a lot more caustic.
Yeah.
than it needed to. Theros, what are you doing in this moment?
Actually, I
I'm
think
moving.
it came out about as caustic as I meant it to. So,
I'm moving to the center, and I'm putting Graxel with the head down on the road, and my chin on the hilt, and just giving him a look just to keep moving on.
Okay, give me an intimidation check, please. There, Fleegan, what are you doing?
I'm going to
Not much
yell out
better.
and say, "What did that guy do? Why are you bullying that guy around?"
Mind your own business, you little shit. And come show you a thing or two. You want to come on over here? And he had some brass knuckles that he's brandishing in his fist.
Yeah, you're nothing. I mean, yeah. And I'll pull out 2 daggers and I'll start flipping them around.
Okay, give me an intimidation, Blair.
You know, my friends, unless we're going to take this man with us, we may be giving him more than he deserves at a later time.
Gror, what are you doing?
Gror will take out his lucky shield and axe and ready himself for this to escalate.
Just kind of standing guard and seeing what's going on.
The most intimidating, the gnome with daggers.
The gnome with the daggers.
Who apparently has a negative on his charisma.
The
figures.
the eyes of the one that you yelled out to kind of widen as he sees you pull out your daggers and flip them around. But one of the drunken ladies in the group comes over to Theros and says, "Oh boy, y'all big strong man." And she starts she puts a hand on your biceps there and kind of starts running it down your bicep, and she kind of leans into you and says, "You know, I've never been with the likes of you before. What y'all say that you showed me a little bit of that big axe of yours, my friend?"
You gotta love some of the dialogue.
And one of the other drunks, in fact, the one that was kind of getting chased and everything, says, "I don't know about these youngins here and what they're doing, and I don't know where we're going with this, but kind of tired of them being around here and all. Maybe we should just teach them a little bit of lesson about the things and the types of shows and the debauchery and the things that they have around here. What y'all thinking?" And, they kind of grunt and groan and say, you hear various quips about y'all being filthy and crooks, things like that.
I want to. Is there any way for me to detect evil without it being obvious that I'm using a spell?
What's the components for that? Are they verbal? Are they somatic? Are they both?
It's verbal somatic, so there is a gesture involved. The reasoning for this is if we're going to get into altercation with these individuals, I'd like to take the evil one out of the picture right away, and I would be able to direct my friends better. Let's see. It just says how it's blocked. It doesn't say exactly what the... Oh, it's just verbal somatic. Yes, there's not a component.
It's okay. So you both speak a word and you have some sort of hand movement, huh?
Yeah, maybe I can kind of do a little like twirl, something that's not part of the spell to like sort of help hide it. Kind of like do like a little spin about or something like that. Not like trying to get attention, but to sort of help blur. If they're drunk and stuff, maybe me moving quickly could also disguise it.
Okay. All right, so that's what you're choosing to do then?
Well, I thought maybe there might be an evil character among them. I know they are the shiners and everything, but I never thought of it before. But maybe there's some kind of evil entity among them that caused them to do the things they're doing. Of course, that could just be called alcohol.
And
Do it to the bear.
Evil.
I mean, to make a long story short, they're slinging all sorts of insults, and I guess I just need to know from you all, from your character's perspective, how well you're going to tolerate these insults or the passes they're making at you or the things like that. And Quembar, I mean, you're within your right to cast a spell and attempt to try and disguise it if you want to. I'll let you roll for that if you want to, but just I guess tell me what you guys are feeling on your wanting to do.
You might want to read
Normally-
the description of detect evil and good. It actually doesn't tell you whether they're evil or good, just whether they're an outsider, a demon, undead.
That's good to know. Thank you.
Yes.
Then I am just going to use my own insight and see if this is for certain headed towards a fight, or if I might be able to persuade it being the sort of like taking the brunt of the insults, and hopefully my axe wielding companions and stuff don't start anything.
Okay.
Normally, Theros
Let's-
would not
let's-
take
Roy
well
wants
to these
fight the lady
insults.
from earlier.
Yeah, that's the only. So, what's the percentage chance here? I gotta weigh that in.
I don't know. You roll for it. Gror, what were you saying? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Gror only wants to fight the lady from the Couriers Guild for the most part. I mean, I'll fight as soon as Theros
Well,
wants to, but I don't
Yeah.
want him getting in trouble when he's finally in charge. So, I mean, I'll let these guys bloviate as long as Theros wishes to tolerate it.
You have a lot of resolve there, my friend. Patience and resolve. Quembar, your insight was pretty good there. Theros, you said something too that I missed.
I was going to say, normally Theros would be swinging his axe by now, but he's feeling the ring on his hand and realizing that he has more important things than to
You sure
cut
that's
down a bunch of drinkers.
You sure that's within his number 8 psychological profile that you just?
I can tell you this: Ken has just clenched her jaw and is just waiting for any sign that something is about to explode, and then she's going to draw and start swinging. But but she's going to grit it and not do so if Theros doesn't pick up his axe.
Okay, go ahead and give me a perception on that, and we'll see where that goes. Fleegan, what are you doing? Other than flipping your dagger up and down. Not to put you on the spot or anything.
Fleegan says he really wants to fight the Courier lady too.
Have to run down the road towards town, see if you can catch her. It's been a little bit, but pretty good. All right, so insight there, Quembar. So what your insight tells you? Can you not hear us, or can you
Hey,
just?
is this working now?
Yeah, we hear
There you
you.
go.
Okay.
You're back on. Mark.
Yay!
What I was going to say is Fleegan is going to return the insults and say, hey, at least I took a bath this year. And I don't like to sleep with my sister. The general backwoods stuff.
Oh, I
Your
like those.
Your mother was a hamster and your father smelled of elderberries? I mean, come on.
Exactly
I'm not
that.
going that far. I'm not going that far.
You have to do it in a French
You know,
accent.
at
though.
least I'm not related. I'm not married to my sister, right?
Sure, yeah.
And my first love wasn't a donkey.
Well, I can see by your
Just the goat.
condition, my friends, that we throw a pretty good party, you have to say. Next time we'll come through here again and we'll have another drink together, hopefully, in friendship.
All right. One thing I just noticed is I did some rolling, but you guys didn't see that. But that's okay.
No.
Probably a good thing that you did.
What does Fleegan's sister look like?
I wish.
That's a good question, considering you all know that he doesn't have one, so you kind of chuckled when he said that.
I was going to say, probably Billy.
If you did, I'm sure she'd be better looking.
Yeah.
All right, so your insight tells you, Quembar, is that they're definitely drunk. They're the typical. Well, they're more than the typical townie in their animosity towards you all, and they're looking for a fight. They're just straight up looking for a fight, and they're trying to goad you into a fight. I'll just tell you that.
Yeah, so the question is, how do I move my friends away from it?
I have a question too. Where did the constable go, and how long ago has it been since we saw him?
It's been quite some time. I'd probably say it's probably been an hour since you saw him, and he went off towards the east, away from town. They came down from the west toward from town.
And there's no other guards around though, like there was when the show was open, right?
No.
No.
And so yeah, they're just slinging insults at you, and you're all standing there trying to figure out what to do. So, tell me,
I'm trying to wave them on.
how do you do that?
I'll use intimidation. How's that?
Okay.
Because I'm still standing there, straddling or with the axe, Graxel head down, and I will simply wave my arm. Time to move along, and I think I will start using some insults that. I'm trying to think of the best way to do that with these guys without starting a fight itself. Why don't you, drunken, lazy bums, go back to town and do what you do there and leave us be?
All right, give me a roll, please.
While he's doing that,
Wow.
Quembar wants to think of what kind of thing do the people in this area fear? What kind of omens? He's trying to figure out what he might be able to use with his magic, like a squawking black bird in the tree, a roar in the forest behind them, a dimming of the flickering of the lights, the light around them.
Yeah, give me
something like that.
Give me a history check to see if you may know of something. I will say, Theros, that there's a reaction to your intimidation there.
Oh.
Wow, Quembar.
I wish I could have used that.
Nat 20.
Yes.
So, the Quembar, there is a there's a legend or a story about a necromancer in these parts that used to do his necromantic nastiness.
And we've seen him.
And
Yes.
the townsfolk, it's been some 30-some years since he disappeared. And there is a legend that maybe he was defeated, but nobody really knows for sure. It's been so long anymore. And there's a story that's often told that the necromancer will come and get the people that are behaving badly, especially to the children. And so usually some sort of invocation of, the necromancer being displeased would be something that could potentially be used to sway the individuals in one form or another. So there's that, and what that means. That's flavor. Okay,
I've
that's
got
roleplay
something.
immersive flavor.
I've got something.
But what that? Go ahead.
Yes, I think I've got something. I found an old picture when we were down in the tombs that has a saying on it. What I want to do is cause maybe the big guy in the group make his eyes shine, because what it says is, "Where the shining eyes, death comes in the darkness. Run for your life!" if I can make that work somehow, that'd be awesome. Maybe make his eyes shine and the light flicker or get darker around him or something with my I can't even say that word, thermatology.
Yeah. That is a spectacular concept of how to put all of this together. And
Brilliant.
I think it's wonderful. So this is how it's all going to go down. So Theros says his bit, which was weak, to say the least. And our friend there, Baldy, who's quite tall, doesn't take kindly and was just looking for the opportunity to goad you all into doing something of the sort. And so he just kind of throws back his head, gives a little bit of a laugh, and says, "Get 'em, boys! Teach these little shizat a lesson." And he reaches back with his fist and very much telegraphs that he's going to just give you a good old punch in the gut. And so with that, Theros, he's so drunk and he telegraphed it so much. I'm going to give you the opportunity to respond in kind first, if you want to.
I will kick him in the gut first.
Okay. Go ahead and make an attack roll with your strength or your dexterity bonus. So you'll just roll a d20 with your strength or dexterity bonus. Unless you have unarmed strike on your character sheet, which I'm not sure anybody.
I do not. Give me 1 second here. That's it. That's with +4 on the strength.
Okay. All right. So what happens is that you see him going to punch you. You put your foot up and you actually deflect his arm as the punch is coming in. You pretty much parry with your foot. So you're just taller than he is, so you're able to stick your foot out and hold him at bay. And while you're doing that, Quembar uses his thermatology to says a prayer to Jinx, because this is a total god of mischief and and practical jokes thing to do. It's just
kind
perfect.
of a jinx moment.
Yeah, it is a jinx moment, totally. And so right at the right time, he gets a blessing of jinx from this masterful idea and makes this man's eyes flash. And because the man was kind of doing that and looking around at everybody, giving him the knowing look of, yeah, we're going to go ahead and jump these kids. And they all see his eyes flash. And the effect is such that they actually freak out by what's going on. Do you say something along with it, Quembar?
Once he looks in my direction, I see that it was effective. I'll say, "Beware the shining eyes of death! It comes! Run for your life!"
Okay, the inebriation of these individuals and the circumstances of all that's going on immediately takes effect, and surprisingly, they all kind of start to look around and are worried and end up just cutting and running in all directions, like, ah! And they start running